the Egyptian authorities confiscated our family business, the largest printing house in Cairo. My father and his two brothers were associated in this printing house. So all of a sudden, 3 families without any livelihood. They said, you are Zionists, so you are the enemies of this country, so we are confiscating all of your assets, everything, the banking accounts, the business, everything. But for me, my own trauma was when I went to school, a child, a girl of 10 years old, the teacher told me, they took your uncle to prison. For me, prison at this age, to go to prison, you must be a criminal. My uncle was a criminal. I cried my soul out. I ran to my mother, I left school, I asked her, is that true? My uncle is a criminal? She told me, look, calmly, she explained to me that they took him to prison because we are Jews. All of a sudden, for me, a Jew, to be Jewish is a crime. I knew I am a Jew. My best friend was a Muslim, another one was Christian. We were equal. And all of a sudden, because I am Jew, it's a crime. It was my own trauma. And then persecution began. My brother, 16 years old, on his way to school in the bus, some young Arabs beat him until bleeding. By chance, a friend of him, a Muslim, Ghazar, I remember him. He was a good friend of my brother. He swore to these young Arabs, he is a Muslim like us, leave him alone. He saved his life. Many times, in the middle of the night, the telephone was ringing and nobody there, silence. Sometimes stones were thrown on our windows. We didn't dare even to look outside to see who did it. After 2 years, my uncle in prison was told, now you are expelled. You can go out of prison, but directly to the ship, out of Egypt. They told my father, you will find your brother there in the ship this day, this hour. So it was clear. We had to leave. 3 families without money. In the middle of the night, my father told me, you will say to nobody, we are leaving tomorrow night. 1 suitcase for each one of us. And later I knew that we could take with us 20 pounds each. In the middle of the night, like thieves, we left home as is. We just closed the door and went to Alexandria to the ship. Well, France. France, for me, was from the culture, from school. We spoke French. But it wasn't France for us. For us, it was a refugee camp, Camp d'Arenas. It was a real refugee camp, barracks. What we had there, in one room, smaller than this one, half of this, we had a wall for one family, the other family this wall, the third family there. 9 beds on a wall. That was home for us. After 3 months, the Sochnut told my father, now you can go to Israel, Mekalia. He was already working, and he wanted to stay, but my mother told him, look, when I tried to go out of the camp, French children told me and my brother, Sale Juif, my brother is here, he remembers Benny, he was with me. Sale Juif, they told us. And my mother knew that, so she said, we are not staying here. We are going to a place where everybody is Jew. My parents were not Zionists. In Egypt, really, the Jews of Egypt were not Zionists. We always said, next year, Shana Ba'a Yerushalayim, but it was just, you know. We came here just to be in a place where my parents hoped we will never be again in a refugee camp. But when we came to Israel, it was a new refugee camp, but they called it Ma'abara. 3 years we were in a Ma'abara in Tiberias, in front of the police station today. The police station is still there, but Ma'abara is not anymore. 3 years in a small room, no water, no bathroom, 3 years. The Ma'abara is a refugee camp. But we went out of the refugee camp. I am a refugee living in Israel, which is a big refugee camp, believe me, but a prosperous one, educated one, where everybody is working, not like these other refugees camp, you know where, Palestinian camps. Are we refugee? Of course we are. Look at this document. It's my cousin. She's my cousin, Vivian. It's written because later we were only the first wave of refugees. The second wave was in 1956 and again in 1967. But when she was expelled from Egypt after Nasser took the assets of her father, they were already recognized as refugees, certificat de réfugié, under the Convention of New York from July 1954 already. All the Jews of Egypt were recognized as refugees. So I hope Danny Ayalon will take this document with him. So at the United Nations, they will see we were already recognized as refugees. What are we talking about? We are all refugees. I am a refugee, and I am proud to be a refugee living in Israel. Baruch Hashem, toda rabah. Thank you.